Perhaps. Hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Friggin', we're done with Smokepit Fairytales 4. Today, we're talking to Amy Bedell, who played Cassandra Stockton in the audiobooks, and now we get to pretend like we haven't been talking for the last 20 minutes and be like, what up? But yeah, we're back. What were we talking? Oh, yeah, voice acting and shit. Fucking
yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Nah, it's cool. It's cool. But yeah, no, I really enjoyed your portrayal of Cassandra Stockton in the books. I know that people listening, love her to death as well. So it's been fun. It's been fun.
She's an amazing character, and I really love her. And there's a lot of parallels between me and her.
Well, yeah, because you were a Marine. You're a Marine too. I mean, she's a corpsman, but like green side, so it's almost the same.
My last duty station was at 2nd Med Battalion, so hung out with corpsmen. Okay. Yeah,
that's fun.
Camp Legion.
What was your last one you were in?
1141 electrician.
Oh, okay, all right.
So I hook up all the electricity, hardwire, MEPTIS gear, whatever, between the tents, the chow halls, the comm sites, all of that, and I run to the generators.
You guys just run to the generators, or do you like work on the generators?
We can do basic maintenance. We didn't know how to, that was 1142. But yeah, so we know how to do basic maintenance and run it. But if something terrible goes wrong.
Okay, so like in real life, you're fixing not mechanics, but electricity, and in real life, Stockton's hurting more people than she's putting back together. But yeah, she's doing both.
I can electrocute people. I mean,
you ever do that on accident? Just like
no, I watched other idiots in my they just, one would be working on the bus bar, which is that it's a box with like poles that you hook up everything to, from the generator to there to the wiring, and one would be working on it and the other one would turn on the generator to shock them. That's
fun.
Bored Marines.
Yes. Well, I mean, you get like people say, what is it? The idle hands are the devil's workshop, and bored Marines will turn into the literal devil, which also plays out well for Smokepit Fairytales 4, because a lot of it is the Marines sitting around not doing anything and getting into more trouble than they really need to be in.
Oh yeah, it's a thing. It's like we spend most of our time drinking and smoking, or getting into trouble.
Yeah.
We do this much work. No.
Well, I mean, like in reality, kind of. I mean, because like unless you're in how do I want to say this? Like unless you're in like one of the shops and you have like, hey, we got more work than we could ever do in a day, and it's just going to keep piling up. So we're going to do what we're going to do today, and then push the rest off for tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. Like say if you're, I don't know, admin or medical or some shit, then yeah, you're going to be busy. But like if you are, a grunt or a mechanic, or in some cases, medical again, it's like, all right, cool, I got everything I needed to get done. What am I doing? Oh, I'm just going to hang out here until 16:30 or 17 or 18 or whenever the goddamn CO wants to get out here and release us.
Wait, most of the time, unless we're deployed, which doesn't happen all the time, because I was in downtime between wars. I was like exactly in the middle, which sucks because you're prepared for this, to train to do all this, and then you don't get to do anything. So you sit at your shop and you're like, I guess we're busting us in the generators again, or the gunny sergeant wants you to move spools of wire from this side to this side, then he doesn't like it, so you move it back. Like just stupid stuff.
Yeah. So actually back then, were you guys like worried about Iraq again, or was it like, all right, we're gonna go fight the Russians? No, the Soviet Union fell. China? North Korea's got to happen, right?
Which one was it? So I was 95 to 99, and was it Q8 had just happened? Was that Q8?
Okay. Yeah.
Was it?
I'm
really bad at history.
Storm was 91, so
yeah, that one. Sorry. Yeah. I'm really bad at that. So yeah, so when I got out a year later, they were,
doing
the Twin Towers happened.
Yeah,
we got attacked. And I was like, come on, it's time. I'm waiting for the phone call because, you're extended, for 4 years. And they sent me a thing telling me they extended me. But I guess they looked at my medical record and were like, yeah, no.
It happens.
Yeah. But I was kind of excited. But, I had a toddler at the time and stuff. So
probably good to not.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that happened to a lot of people. A lot of dudes got, pulled back, like, got out, started going to school, and then, like, started a family, and then, hey, you're going to Iraq. I've been out for 3 years. IRR, bitch. All right.
I know, it's like, shit, do I fit in my uniforms?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know about you recently. I tried to put on my blues coat about a year ago, and I was like, okay, cool. That's never gonna fucking happen again. All right, got it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no way.
I mean, it helps that I'm not running 20 miles a week anymore, but that'll do that.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
Yeah, I herniated a disc, and it's been herniated. Well, it's past herniation now, and the second one herniated above it.
Yeah.
So now there's nothing in them or around them. So yeah, good times. And then my knees are messed up. And,
Yeah. I don't have any cartilage in my knees, so I feel you.
Mine make music when I walk and stuff. It's like,
yeah, you're not supposed to be a drum set, right?
Yeah. I have the arthritis that you're supposed to do more to make it hurt less and to warm them up, and I'm like, to get to that point hurts.
Yeah, but I mean, isn't that the case with everything though? Like, you do the thing that hurts now, so you feel better later. Like,
mm-hmm.
I can't think of an example off the top of my head right now. Well, I guess working out, like, yeah, this sucks, but I'll feel better tomorrow if I go not be a slug today, which I'm gonna be a slug today anyway and just be mad. But it's that constant cycle of do the thing or regret it, and then
yeah. It's a difference between if you see people like in their 60s over here and that do stuff and then don't do stuff, they look real old and frail. And over here, these people look young. So it's because they keep doing things, and I want to be over here.
Yeah, I mean, because you don't slow down until you slow down, and then you fucking slow down like that. I think that's why one of the big reasons why, like, older couples, whenever one of them dies, the other one dies like usually 6 months within 6 months of it, because it's like, all right, husband's dead, or all right, wife's dead. I'm just gonna like watch TV and wait for it. Which I don't blame them, I guess, but
yeah,
it is kind of interesting because, like, now you see it a little bit more where, say, your mom dies, and then you're like, all right, we got to get dad a girlfriend or he's next.
Yeah.
So, but oh, life's weird.
We've been trying to walk around the neighborhood, but between the rain and this time of year, the bears are out. We have a lot of black bear here because I live in the woods, and so you walk around and someone will tell you there's a bear, or we've actually had one cross our path and it stopped, and my husband goes to call to it, and I'm like trying to be big and clap my hands and yell.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because people like, there aren't bears anymore. I'm like, bro, like, you're gonna come hang out in my backyard. You might not see it tonight.
Yeah,
out there.
My father-in-law is always like, I need to come up there and see the bears. I'm like, they just don't appear when you want them to.
Yeah, unless you're like out in a cabin, like up in the what do they call it, the Allegheny National Forest, and then you're like, all right, well, I'm gonna cook bacon over the fire. What's in the bushes there? Might want to go inside because you dumbass yourself into a bad situation. Yeah.
The black bears aren't bad. I used to go out on the deck and take pictures of them.
Yeah. I don't think they're like super aggressive, but still don't go pet them.
Wait, the mom with their cubs will be, but I usually see them on the cameras around the house more often because they will come any time. You'll not know that they have been on the other side of the house as you, because they'll be quiet. Like, they won't.
I mean, they're sneaky. Like, how else are they going to catch their prey? I mean, they're not just scavengers. They'll hunt you down.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But also anywhere where, like, you kind of have anywhere where you're rural enough, I guess is the right term for that, where you're going to have bears around. Like, I don't know exactly where you are, but like on my side of the state, it's also Bigfoot country, where it's like, I haven't seen a Bigfoot. I don't think there's a Bigfoot up here, but like every once in a while a story pops up and somebody saw a Bigfoot 10 miles away from here. I'm like, yeah, that checks out. I don't know if I believe in Bigfoot, but yeah, that checks out.
Oh my gosh, I never heard anybody talk about that here. I mean, they talk about this panther that they see now and again. I've yet to see one of those.
Like a mountain lion, or like a
mountain lion. Yes. Yeah,
Bigfoot lion. Bigfoot cougar.
Yes, I'm always like, where is it? Seen everything else.
I haven't seen any cats up here, but I saw a lot in Pendleton. Like they were all over the damn place down there. Which you don't think about because it's like, all right, this is kind of the desert, but not really, but almost. Why are there mountain lions that like I have to stop on the road and they're looking at me eye to eye?
That is crazy. Yeah, because I know they're more dangerous than the bears.
Yeah.
I would be more freaked out, but I hear bobcats. You can hear them. I've not seen one in person. Of all the years I lived here, like 26 years. Yeah, so, but you can hear them at night. It is crazy. Some of them start screaming and you're like, what the fuck? And it's that, yeah.
Yeah, them and foxes make some weird noises.
We had 2 fox in the back of our shed. Obviously, it takes 2. Sorry, but right across from our front door, and we could just look out the windows and watch the cubs and everything. But then the fireworks and the 4th of July scared them all away.
Yeah, and forest critters are weird too because like you really have to worry, especially if you're a little bit further out in the woods. You really have to worry about porcupines because they gnaw on wood, and if you get one in your basement or something, they'll start eating the house.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah. But I remember when I was a kid, friggin' we were out there and I had grandparents that had a cabin in upstate Pennsylvania. But there's porcupine out there, chewing on the bottom of the struts. So it's all right, we got to shoot the thing. My dad goes out to shoot it. He's got a 9mm, shoots it, bullet bounces off of it. The porcupine kind of like looks at my dad and goes back to like gnawing. So my dad's like, I don't want to touch this thing. So I'm going to shoot it again. Doesn't do anything because their quills are like body armor. And then it's like, all right, I'm just going to hit it with a shovel until it runs away.
I haven't seen one at all.
I see them a lot. I see them. I haven't seen one walking around. I see a lot of them dead on the side of the road, though.
I haven't even seen that. Maybe they're not here.
Maybe. I don't know what their footprint is.
I'll get a lot of raccoons. They kind of look like my fat cat. Sometimes I'm like, did he get out again?
When you were in Japan, did you ever see the what was it, the Tanuki or the Tanuki? So, I think they call them raccoon dogs, and they look like dogs. Or I'm sorry, they look like raccoons, but they're actually just a weird kind of Asian dog, and they have like giant nut sacks to the point where like in all the old Japanese art, they have the Tanuki and he's like wearing the hat because he's like a person, but then he's like got his nut sack like in his hand and he's beating somebody with it or something. And then like they have the little statues out in front of their shrines and it's like the dude sitting up like this with a hat and a bottle of sake, but his like balls come down to the floor and it's like what are you doing? Or like you remember in Super Mario Brothers 3 the bear costume? That's that thing.
I think like with the raccoon, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, it was the Tanuki. It looks like a raccoon.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But, yeah, I also didn't notice till recently, but raccoons are a North American thing. They're not. Yeah. They weren't anywhere else. Somebody let some go somewhere in Europe, and they're slowly taking over Europe. And they like just got to England, and it's like, yes, the invasion has begun.
It's probably because all these people online have them as pets now, and they wanted some.
Yeah, dude, not Joe Exotic. Don't get the weird fucking animal.
Oh yeah. Because in Pennsylvania, I can or can't. It's weird. Our laws are weird too.
Yeah, they go back and forth from state to state. I'm not sure.
You can have a really long knife, but you can't have a raccoon pet.
Well, really long knives don't have rabies.
Okay.
I guess I don't know.
I guess.
I mean, you think you can have a pet possum here, can't you?
I don't know.
There's a lot of those around here too. Again, I have never seen a possum walking around up here. I used to see them like walking around all the place in Florida. See a lot of them on the road dead, and it's like, dude, you guys can like hang out in my yard. I won't run you over.
I've only seen them on camera. It's like they don't, and we're pretty quiet. We don't do. I gave up trying to fight the deer to do anything outside. Because they're stupid and will eat anything.
They just come up and hang out on the porch like, oh dear, go away.
Oh yeah, you will grow the deer-proof stuff. It's not deer-proof, and they will just eat anything because they're dumb. And just to fight with them with the same plant every day, just fuck it, you can have it.
Yeah, no, because I remember you'd post them on Instagram every once in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are. kind of a weird thing too, just because they're friggin' I'm wondering how much that they breed that they're not an endangered species just because of how many dead ones you see on the side of the road, you know?
Right.
And then plus you can still hunt them. And they're delicious. But, you know, I'm kind of wondering how we haven't curbed the population yet.
They're everywhere. Like, I know there's deer that give birth in my yard. I usually have a mom and 2 fawns every year. I haven't seen her yet. I seen one laying down close by, and she looks kind of fat. So,
do you ever go out at night and then like you hear from the woods like Love Shack playing, and you go out in the bushes? Hey, deers, quit fucking in here!
Stop it! Yeah, they'll do it right in front of your,
Yeah.
You can't feed them because they'll en masse into your yard and beat each other up, and it's crazy.
Maybe you could start doing that and then start a deer cult.
I don't know. I kind of wanted to train the crows to dive bomb people and stuff.
You know, I hear some crazy stuff with crows. Like people like train them to like. There was a guy that got like bird seed, and he like kind of set up like a vending machine type thing for it, and he trained crows to put quarters in it to get bird seed, and then like that happened so much the dude quit his job because crows just quarter, and apparently they got to the point where they were like stealing women's purses and like ripping them apart for change to go get bird seed from this thing.
You can see this crow pickpocketing.
Yeah, just
give me your necklace. I need some food.
Yeah.
They used to sit in this tree outside my window in the mornings, so I would yell at them. So they probably don't like me around here because apparently they remember your face.
Yeah, and they'll do stuff where it's like if they find out that somebody lives somewhere and that person like kills crows, they'll avoid flying over that area for like decades.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so like they have like generational memory of like don't go there. Like they like to kill crows there.
There's other birds of prey around here too, so I mean I'm surprised they stick around with those because there's owls, there's there is eagles, hawks, and stuff.
Yeah, I haven't seen any eagles. We have a lot of hawks here, though. Like a lot.
Oh yeah. When I first started hearing the owls more often, I really thought because it would be the perfect hoo, and I was like, somebody's fucking with us, right? Somebody's out there making the sound. And no, it's them. And then my husband realized that, or has found out that from a TV show, that when aliens come, you see owls. So now he's like, oh my god, the aliens are.
Well, I mean that's a weird thing though too, because like I've heard that before in a couple of places, but also in a lot of cultures, you know, the owl's the bird that shows up before death does. So like I don't know if it's just like some weird thing where it's like leftover, caveman stuff where it's like, oh, there's an owl, it's dark and spooky, I got to register to be scared of this, and then we just kind of like held it over, or if aliens show up and then the owls are like, what's the sky people doing? Oh, you're getting in trouble now. Hey, Billy, come here, watch this.
You're fucked now.
And then they laugh while you get abducted and you go, no.
Look at that fucking guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no idea, but that's kind of creepy. Nothing bad has happened so far, knock on wood.
Yeah. No, is that real wood or is it plexiglass? Because you gotta go find real good wood if that's the particle board.
Shit. This one is, hold on. My dice tray.
Yeah.
For like, because we're gamers here.
Yeah.
Do you play D&D or anything?
Not in a while. I have. I think it's fun. I had a campaign I was with a couple of buddies, and it lasted for about a year and a half, and then we kind of just like trailed off. And I was like, "Hey, we're gonna finish this." I'm like, "No, man, that's how D&D goes." I'm like, "So, do you ever like actually finish games?" No, you just kind of like rail off at the end. I'm like, "Okay, all right, cool, got it." So I think I got the full experience.
We've been playing with a set of people since COVID.
You guys do anything fun?
Yeah, I'm a necromancer, so I get to bring things to life. It's fun.
So if you're ever lonely, you can just like make new friends.
Yeah. I'm never alone. Yeah, she's a kind of a introvert, like sticks to herself, kind of. But like, that's how she makes friends. But she always kids and says, if somebody dies, I'll bring you back. It's fine. Yeah. I don't want to be brought back, but you'll always be here. Just think.
Yeah. No, I had a real problem with my DM. Not a problem, but like I really like to fuck with him. So like there was this like whole arc where we got into like a blood feud with some night hags. Mm-hmm. And like every time one would show up, like, right before we started fighting, it's like, all right, what's first move? I'm like, I'm gonna ask her if it hurt. Roll a 20. All right, so it hurt when you fell from heaven. You're not attracted to this thing. Yeah, but I rolled a 20. So she's gonna blush and then she's gonna, attack you with this. I'm like, all right, fine. It did work once though. It did work once because I did that a lot, but then I ended up fucking a Sphinx. So
So my other game that I'm in with our friend who's in Scranton, not too far away. Mm-hmm. My husband DMs. He DMs both games, but in this one it's my brother and his friend and our other friend. And they're I should have made a male character. Because sometimes I'm like, oh. Yeah. They're very a lot of dicks in that game.
When there's a lot of dicks and everything, though, it's kind of funny because, like, if you go back and read Shakespeare, like, not in the context of like a high school English class, it's high literature, but it's all dick and fart jokes. And then, like, if you go back and look at graffiti, from anybody in history, it's like, all right, so the Romans took over this building and they camped out here. There's a lot of dicks carved in the walls. Huh.
That's amazing. So our friend likes to draw those all the time everywhere too. He's actually gotten the in each town or each city, each town, he gets together all the hookers together under like a.
Wait, is this in D&D or is he going to like
in D&D?
New Jersey and doing this? Oh, okay, all right. This story was like, I was like, all right, who's this friend? And oh shit, Ryan just showed up.
Okay.
Hey, Ryan. We were talking about D&D, and one of our friends is going around and collecting hookers and drawing dicks on everything.
Oh, so you had perfect timing. Perfect timing.
Yeah. Anyway, Amy, Ryan, Amy.
Hello.
And for those of you at home, Ryan's one of the. Huh?
I was going to say I apologize to everyone for being a little late. I was caught up.
It happens, man.
Yeah.
But
the joys of the joys of working freelance. You just like wake up like everything's happening at once.
Yeah. All of it.
Sorry, I kind of broke your intro of me there. Carry on.
Anyway, hookers and drawing dicks.
Yes.
Well, he draws dicks and stuff in real life, and but he's gotten all the hookers to be in a
sex cult. Harem.
No. No, to get them all good pay and stuff, being treated right.
Oh, okay. So good man pimp. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. A pimp at the people.
Actually, I mean, to be the guy as soon as I joined in, I have a fun, interesting fact about drawing penises.
What's that?
So they found on an archaeological dig on Hadrian's Wall, the archaeologists were happily going along, and then one of them was just brushing. They were like, does that look like a... And the other guy was like, yeah, it does. And there's historical evidence that the Romans, Roman legionaries, whilst guarding Hadrian's Wall, on the side the Picts were facing, by the way, were drawing dicks. So they were just going down and graffitiing the wall with dicks. And I think it genuinely had like Lazarus was here or something written above it.
Nice.
Roman.
Yeah, well, I mean that's not a new thing. I mean, Amy will tell you, friggin', Marines everywhere throughout history. It's like, all right, I'm bored. I'm gonna draw a dick on this wall. That's how you know Marines were there, dick. Which I'm glad to know that that's not like a United States Marine Corps ism. That's every type of warrior class ever. Dick.
Well, I went to Thailand or I was, from Okinawa to Thailand for a couple months. We had to do stuff with the Thai Marines there for training. And out in town, they have a lot of carvings and stuff, and a lot of phalluses, and a lot of monkeys holding big phalluses. And I'm like, what the fuck is with this? Like that's their fertility thing. But yeah, tons of dicks.
That reminds me, there was one of the bloopers in one of the chapters in this. I think it was when they were in the Space Thailand whorehouse, where you're given Stockton's lines about one of the hookers, and then you just go off on this tirade about like, there's so much dicks everywhere.
I should be used to it.
That's funny.
I feel like I come up once a week in a D&D game or somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's funny though, because like speaking of dicks and that and the Marines or whatever, there was what is it? Ryan played Ramsey in the audiobooks. And there's that part in it's still in Smokepit Fairytales 4, but when they get back from the Mew and they go to the bar and Ramsey's hitting on Stockton. And then I forget exactly what went down, but then like Stockton just kicks the shit out of Ramsey.
I appreciate that. I used to start fights back in the day.
Yeah. That had something to do with dicks, but I'm not putting. Oh wait, no, that's in the next book. I'm sorry. I'm not.
I was like, I don't know if that's this book.
No. Sorry. Spoilers.
It does get confusing when you do like the 3 in a row.
Yeah. Well, that like I got in. We started doing this a while ago. So like, what is it? Like I had everybody's voices in for the 4th book. What, a year ago maybe? So yeah, we're talking about a book that we haven't actually paid attention to in 14 months.
But it was a fun book.
It was. A lot of shenanigery.
It really was.
I think
sorry.
Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
Oh no.
I think my favorite character to play was. Wait, no, is that the right book? No, I'm throwing myself off.
Oh shit!
Is it? Hey, that one.
Oh yeah.
I've got the right book. Yeah. Okay.
That's a book for because they all go to that arcade and Chuck is hitting on that chick, and then Thatch goes to wingman for him, but he finds out that he's wingman for the gay dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Larry was his name.
Yeah. I was that was possibly my favorite because I just went all out with that one. I think the bloopers reel on that is hilarious because I just went all in. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go everywhere I can with this character, and I just imagined I was born and bred San Francisco, and then and then at some point I moved to Newcastle.
Well, there's a part in there where you started off as like a German dude, and you gave him like 2 lines. You're like, no, it's too easy to be German and gay. I gotta go somewhere where it's not natural.
Yeah, I think I went for a ever so slight Australian twang, just because like it was meant to be very slight. Yeah, that was I do like making things difficult for myself. I think most of the blooper reels I send over is just me going, no, that just sounded German and gay. It's like normally a complaint of me slipping into normally an Australian accent. Whenever I try and do like Texan as an accent, I always slip into Australian, and I don't know why.
Well, I mean, because if you haven't been to either one of them and you're not an American, then
I suppose
Australia and Texas are like they're both in the desert and they hunt kangaroos. They have kangaroos in Texas, right? Yeah, fuck it.
Yeah, probably.
They could.
I don't know. They might. I mean, there's always a fucking scenario where there's some other, Tiger King Joe Exotic type fucking deal, and the animals get free, and then you just have feral kangaroos in Oklahoma.
That would be amazing. Just go outside one day. Never mind. I'm going back in.
I mean, from my entire view of America comes from Taylor Sheridan TV shows. So like that's before that it was formed on like the regular, like every single American movie I ever watched as a kid. Like there was the one with The Rock about the San Andreas fault line. and then somehow right at the end over the Golden Gate Bridge, they have the American flag go down. And I was like, that's how I imagined America is. Like every occasion you can find, you will put an American flag up. Because in every movie I watched as a kid, the hero just stares glazingly into the sun and then the American flag appears. I'm like, is there an American flag everywhere? And they're just
I mean,
like
there's. I mean, it depends on where you are, but
Yeah.
a lot of the country, yeah, no, they're just everywhere. Like you have them on the post offices. A lot of stores have them out front. Like there are a lot of neighborhoods where you go to, and there's one in every house. Like our neighborhood, there's an American flag out in front of every house. So like it's
pretty basic.
It's like that depending on where you're at.
Yeah.
I mean, like not so much in like say California or Maryland, but
yeah.
Kind of depends on where you're from.
Yeah.
Do you guys not have British flags everywhere?
That, believe it or not, that's a very controversial topic in the UK.
I mean, didn't you guys put them all over the fucking planet?
That's why it's controversial. That's why it's controversial. We sort of sit there and we go, yeah, that oh, what, oh dear, that didn't happen. No.
Have you been to the United States?
No, I want to.
I'm trying
really
to
want
psyop him into immigrating.
I know.
Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
I'll take you shooting. You can have a gun. We'll get
Exactly.
you.
I just want to go out to the middle of the desert with 50 cal. Just like let all of the years of like, you got a license for that, mate. Just vent it out into one spray.
In the state we're in, Pennsylvania, the western side, there is a shooting place that has all types of guns. I don't know if you've been there, Trip. I sent
amazing.
I sent my father-in-law, my husband there one day.
Nice. I think I know what you're talking about. I have not been, but I also live in the woods and just have my own guns, so it's like I just go out the backyard.
I can't.
I don't have anything super cool, but actually I do have a few cool things, but like they're antiques and I don't shoot them because it's like, hey, so here's I got a Arisaka 98, which is like the Japanese infantry rifle in World War II, and it's like that's neat. I'm never going to shoot that, but that's going on the wall, like that kind of stuff.
Whereas in the UK, my government just goes, hey, what can we ban next that's fun? Like we banned ninja swords, not even proper ninja swords, like decorative ninja swords are banned.
Really?
Now. Yeah, because some random guy was running around and they was like, clearly what's dangerous is the ninja swords.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, my government is if it either bans it or makes you go through hoops to get a license for it. So you did the right thing, 1776 guys. You did the right thing.
Well, we know that's why we haven't left the country.
Yeah.
Here it depends on what state or county you're in. So you could be crossing over and get in trouble here or not here. It's just crazy over here. Like we need a uniform thing.
I think it is hard for Europeans. I think the only reason I can grasp it is I speak to so many Americans, but it's hard for a European to grasp how big America is. Like I have to say to other Europeans, no, imagine Europe was one country and then was a bit bigger, and that's the United States.
Well, I think it helps that Pennsylvania is horizontal, but Amy and I live in the same state. We live on the opposite sides of the state, and I'm pretty sure we can fit England and Ireland between our houses.
Probably, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
that's
so
wild.
I hear a lot how we're uncultured and stuff, how we don't get out and go to other countries and stuff. But A, it takes forever to get to some of those places. And B, like just traveling to another state, like I live in Pennsylvania and I'm from Wisconsin, which is up over here. And I cross through Ohio, Indiana, Illinois into Wisconsin, to get to Wisconsin. And that's 12-hour drive.
To be fair,
wow.
Ohio and Indiana are like the same fucking place. So,
God. Ohio is never ending and it's flat. And then you hit Indiana and you don't want to get off on an exit. I'm sorry, Indiana.
Yeah.
What shocked me was when I saw, to me, Florida on a map looks very, very tiny. And then someone was like, no, you can drive for 14 hours and not hit both ends of Florida. I was like, what? If I drive for 14 hours, I'll hit Scotland.
Florida's in 2 time zones, dude.
Yeah, it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah. It's a lot longer than you think it is too, because I think if you're in the Keys and you drive up to Georgia, that's a 13-hour drive.
Could you imagine telling a Roman? That's a good book idea. Is trying to explain to a Roman the United States and how how United States like low-key tried to copy the Romans, and the Romans were like, wait, how are you managing it? We're struggling with like the British guys, the guys with a funny face paint. We're struggling with them, and they're not that far away. Like,
well, I mean, there is an alternate to that joke, because like, how there's this big argument on like, when the Roman Empire fell, and it's like, was it when the Western Empire fell? Was it when the Eastern Empire lost a lot of its influence? Was it the fall of Constantinople? Or, is Rome still around because we have the Catholic Church? Which, if you go off that last one, the new Pope's an American, so suck it. America's Roman.
See, I remember I did a video where I unironically I got a load of people together and was like, who is the true successor to Rome? And I fully, like, in all serious, have I gone? Have I disappeared?
No.
Did I get out? There you go. Right. Okay. I've lost my train of thought now. There we go. So I said that the successor to the Roman Empire would be the Vatican, because it has all of the legal systems that the Romans had, and that was what the Romans viewed the Roman state was their legal systems. And so technically now, yes, you could unironically argue that through the link to the Vatican, America is a genuine heir to Rome.
Now, on that though, is the Pope the Roman emperor?
I mean, because they are. So the Pope is the king of Vatican City at the same time.
Yeah.
So
I didn't know that. I'm also not Catholic, so
Yeah. But
I'm not either.
No, I do find it interesting though. I think Catholic like voting is very interesting though. I must admit. Like the whole Catholic voting, I said that as if the entire Catholic world votes. The conclave is what I mean.
Yeah.
But it's a very interesting process. I also love that I came in this and we started about drawing penises when I came on, and we're now talking about the fateful conclave.
Well, if you want to wrap it back around to it, there's a news story going around that's catching some heat. It's getting memes because since linguistic shift is what I'm going to call it, has moved to, like, if you're not using your phone or you don't have your phone and like you're on an airplane and you're just like not reading a book or anything and just staring at the back of the seat in front of you, that's called raw dogging. And yeah, raw dogging means something else without a condom. Yeah, but anyway, when all the Cardinals went in to like do the vote, somebody's like, yeah, so they don't have their cell phones in there. They got taken away, so they're not going to be on Instagram or anything. As the kids say, they're raw dogging it in there. And I was like, bro, I don't think that the Cardinals are raw dogging it in there, but okay, CBS.
Yeah. I mean, that brings us on to a totally new topic, which is I saw this linguistics professor saying how English is in the period of so obviously when we had the original Proto-Indo-European, then that split off. You have Old Slavic and Old Norse, and like the early sort of Indian languages, and then obviously Old English, and it all comes out. That this guy was saying that English is now in the phase of fracturing. So like there will be different versions, like it will be so like in 1,000 years they will splinter off into their own distinct languages.
Oh, that makes sense. I mean, I don't know if you ever talked to anybody from Tennessee. I'm sure you have, Amy. That's not English at all.
Again, to say how naive I am about America, my only knowledge of America really does come from Taylor Sheridan TV shows, specifically Yellowstone, and Tita, my favorite character. 100%, you cannot tell me she's not speaking another language. Like she's talking like this, like every single thing, and I'm like, what? I am like double take and rewinding every 4 minutes.
Well, what's funny about the Southern accent, or the American Southern accent, is it's really just slow British English. And if you get someone that has a Southern accent and get them to talk fast or to speak quick, they sound like they're British.
They don't speak quick.
Doesn't it?
They're really
Cornish. I heard. I don't know how true it is. I did hear once that it comes from Cornish, because obviously that was where the Puritans were, and then they toddle off, and then it goes from, because if you sound like that, if you do a Cornish accent, and then you slowly deepen that drawl, and then you turn into a cowboy, like
Yeah, which is kind of funny because like all the Puritans now are like, where do the Amish live? Like Pennsylvania, Ohio, a little bit up in
Lancaster.
Michigan. Yeah. So they're all up. Most of them are up north.
We have some in
now.
Wisconsin too.
Well, they're everywhere. They get them down in South America and stuff. Apparently, Germany has some too. I didn't know that.
Yeah,
kind of wonder what they were up to during World War II. Like, oh no, can't go out there and.
The Amish is such a wild group. Like they're just building a house in an afternoon.
Right, like they can pick
China
it up and
must
move
be
it.
furious. Yeah. Just,
I saw there's a page I follow called Terrible Maps, and they just like cut stuff up into stuff that like it makes sense, but it's wrong, but it's right. And they had America split in two, and it's like, so like this is the real division between the North and the South. It's like, if you need a house built, do you do the Amish, or do you use the Amish, or do you use Mexicans?
Yeah, it's quite. I mean, but no, the Chinese must be furious at how quick the Amish can build a house, and the Amish ones don't fall down as well because they're not made of paper mache.
Yeah. Oh, and then John in the comments is saying, yeah, Southern accent. There's a bunch of them too, because like Cajun, Appalachian, Texan, Virginia. Although is Appalachian a Southern accent? Because like that starts in
That's what I hear.
West
I don't hear
Virginia.
anything up here.
Yeah.
Maybe Southern more.
Yeah.
I know that you've got like two different accents in New York City. Like
there's like 50 in New York City alone.
Yeah, that blows my mind. Like, I mean, obviously, because we're like the common joke that we use in the UK is the Americans will always say, "Oh yeah, we got loads of accents," and I'll be like, "If I walk 2 minutes down the road, I will find another accent," and then obviously the counter argument you guys will always throw at us is New York City. Because New York City is just like, you went, right, how many accents can we fit in this one portion of one state?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that comes from like in the 1800s, like that's where a lot of, immigrants from Europe would come through. And then a lot of them would just stay in New York instead of, I don't know, moving to the rest of the fucking continent.
I suppose it makes sense.
Yeah, because I hear England has a bunch of different accents, and it would be the same here. You have the really lazy.
Yeah, really
where
chill.
you can could you just enunciate some words? Like, I need to pick out a few. I don't know.
Yeah. Is the one question I have though is, do you all say aluminium wrong?
Is that are you saying aluminum or?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, that's
what it's taking me years to say that correctly.
I mean, that depends though. Who discovered it? Did they find it in England and then we said it wrong, or did we find it over here and y'all are saying it wrong?
So aluminium started off, apparently the reason it changed the name was some guy they either misprinted it when they were selling it, or they wanted to save money on the ink, so they just shifted a few vowels around and made the word just which is apparently how a lot of words changed in to American English. That's how you lost the U on nearly everything, was they just wanted to.
Yeah, no, I have the answer for this, and it's funny because this works in English, American English, and French, right? And it's because of newspapers and the printing press. So, both ways, both in the U.S. and in France, they would charge you by the letter, right? So in the U.S., it's like, all right, well, COLOUR. Well, I mean, you can pronounce it without the U, so let's drop the U, and then that kind of reasoning is what shrunk the words with the vowel drops in American English. But in French, it was the exact opposite, where it was like, all right, so we have this word, we can charge you more if we put extra letters in it, right? All right, put a bunch of extra vowels. They'll be silent letters. They're going to pay for this. So it's kind of a funny
so it's capitalism. It all comes back to capitalism. Enjoy that in the comments on the feedback now. When you go to the playback, that now I've mentioned China and capitalism in the same live stream.
But I mean, there's two arguments there. So yeah, isn't capitalism great? Oh my god, isn't it terrible? And here's an example of both here right now. Same thing.
In one go, because you can argue it drives ingenuity. Like, yeah, it's scummy to charge per letter, but also at the same time, it kind of invented a whole new language.
Right.
Yeah. I still see both of those now and again when you're reading or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, apparently, I feel like this one's offensive to you guys. Apparently, they changed Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone because they didn't think American audiences would understand what a philosopher was.
Weird.
And I was like, I feel like that's just a bit offensive, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then I watched the testing of the focus groups of Harry Potter fans in America. They were right, because none of them knew what philosopher fans were. And I was like, okay.
I mean, to be fair, Sorcerer's Stone sounds a little bit more,
Magic.
Yeah, it does vibe more. The marketing's definitely better. I think what I've come to understand is that the English, especially, we're just wired weirdly. Like, we're this weird mix. Like, you have to remember, if you just look at our language on its own, our language is a mix of Celtic, different Germanic tribes, the Germans themselves, the French, the Romans. Like, everything. Like, we're just such a jumble of everyone. I'm amazed that we can walk in a straight line, to be honest.
Which that's kind of funny though, because you would expect that out of a place like, I don't know, Switzerland, that's like in the middle of the continent. Not, all right, we're gonna go off the fucking mainland, across the ocean to a fucking island to do this.
Yeah. Everyone wanted the British Isles at some point or another. The Norwegians came over, the Swedish, the Danish, the Germans, the Dutch had to go, the French had to go, the Spanish had to go, the island itself had to go. We was just having to go at each other. For some reason, Europe really had a thing for. It might also be because we were slightly invading everyone, but
Slightly.
we just went for a walk. We showed up and went for a walk. We didn't like burn your cities down, or we did burn your cities down. Shit.
Yeah.
just one,
yeah. Just one or two.
I mean, we should talk, but whatever.
Yeah. It's fine. Everyone, it's the circle of life. It's like the Lion King. Yeah, just someone else comes along to burn the cities down. It just cycles through.
Now we just do it together.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, we got so into it at one point. Both our nations decided, shall we just do it to ourselves? Let's just see how quick. It's another thing. It reminds me of Harry Turtledove, of like how everything is just an alternate history civil war.
Yeah, but Harry Turtledove had some like interesting books though. I'm not a big fan of his because I don't think he knows how to write. I just think he knows how to come up with a good idea. And then, like, here's 500 pages of the idea. It's like, are you guys gonna do character development in this? Maybe do a little bit of interpersonal drama. Like, it's cool that you got like eco-terrorists from South Africa to, like, I don't know, stop America by sending people back through time to give the Confederates AK-47s. But like, are you gonna, like, I don't know, put a personality in this book, or is this gonna be like fact? All right, like, I get the same problem with H.P. Lovecraft, where
that's controversial.
I don't care. I don't care. He doesn't know how to write. It's like, all right, so I got a spooky idea. Are you gonna have somebody talk in this? Oh no, you have to have gone outside and talked to another human being to know how people talk.
Oh.
To be able to write it down. But my biggest criticism about him is like, all right, so he's got all these, horror stories about, like, how fucking weird it is that, there's these like skinny, damp fucking things walking around and how terrible islands are, and like there's these like creatures that come out of the woodwork that barely fucking, you can't understand it when they open their mouths. And then he moves to England.
Yep. He also had a very interestingly named cat that we can't say.
Yeah,
the name of
let's not say that
because we'll
on the
get
live stream.
banned.
I'd like to not get flagged.
Oh, what does flag on here? I should have asked that beforehand.
I don't know.
You can't drop an F-bomb in the first 15 minutes, and you can't use any. You can't like reference any racial slurs.
Yeah.
Did I say an F-bomb already?
I'm sure I fucking did. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but also if you're gonna name your cat the N-word, like maybe don't give him his own YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
HP Lovecraft.
I do believe you're right, John. Yes, I'm fairly certain.
They say, didn't Lovecraft ask his friends to destroy all his writings before he died? And the guy who didn't. Oh, yeah.
I'm fairly sure that most of our Lovecraft library comes because he didn't destroy it.
Mm.
Because Lovecraft is probably one of the most interesting people you would never ever want to meet, because he was quite literally like a proto incel. he just literally did not leave his room and just wrote fan fictions about tentacles. Like
there's plenty of people that do that now.
Yeah, exactly. Proto incel. If he was around today, like. If I said, "Hey, I know this guy. He stays in his room all day and he writes fan fiction about tentacles," you'd be like, "Oh yeah, weeaboo."
Yeah. But that's the weird thing about Japan, though, because like it's one thing to judge somebody for like, okay, you never left your house in I don't know Missouri, and all you do is watch anime, and you're kind of fucking weird about it. But then, like, if you go to Japan, you're like, "Oh, I get it. Okay, all right, this is cool." I mean, you can attest to that, Amy. Fucking Japan's like even like not really Japan, but still kind of Japan's fucking neat.
They seem very conservative and contained, and then when you see stuff like that, you're like, where does this come from? Because they like cover their mouths to like laugh, and they're very soft spoken and things like that. Yeah. And then you see this stuff, and you're like, the hell? It's always the quiet ones.
I mean, that might come from like they were feudalists until like what 150 years ago, so like they're probably still culturally like no. We were like my great granddad was our version of Amish.
I love that is one of my favorite bits of American history. Is you turned up with battleships and cannons ready to fire, not for war. To let them trade, to like make them trade with you. That's like the most aggressive discussion ever. That's like the president going into a trade deal with like a 50 cal. He's just like, you will sign.
Well, what's funny is like samurais were happening at the same time the Old West was happening, at the same time the Victorian era was happening. So it's not inconceivable that there was some samurai dude and some like proper like Ebenezer Scrooge type guy that went to Arizona to fight cowboys. Like it's not impossible that happened.
You could unironically have cowboys versus samurais and have it not be historically inaccurate.
Yeah.
Like you could like plausibility. Like I really hope that if one day I'm going to come across a story and it's unironically a samurai fighting a cowboy. That has to exist there. That has to have happened one time.
Oh, yeah. No, John said this in the comments. A samurai working for Nintendo could have sent a fax to Lincoln, and that's not inaccurate.
If you also think about it, J.D. Rockefeller was leading the oil boom at the same time the Ottoman Empire still existed.
Wow.
Yeah, but the Ottoman Empire didn't fall apart until after World War I, so I mean...
Yeah, but then it was the stickman of Europe by that point.
Then again, friggin' like the Old West didn't end until after World War I either, because I think the last Indian War was in the 20s.
That was the other thing, because obviously, again, massive Taylor Sheridan fan. I know it's not true, America. I've been told this repeatedly on Twitter. That's not an accurate representation. I know, but what threw my mind is 1883, where they're representing the Oregon Trail, or like the end of the Oregon Trail, just as people are finishing up the Oregon Trail.
Did you guys have that video game when you were kids there?
We did have the Oregon Trail, and growing up, I thought that when Americans referred to the Oregon Trail they meant the video game. And then I was on a podcast with Aidan Mattis, and I was talking, and I went,
That's awesome.
wait, that was real? And he was like, do you not know this? And I was like, I know about the Romans and the Anglo-Saxons and the Vikings, but I didn't know this was real. I just thought you went from east to west. I never thought you went from like south to north. I didn't know that trail existed. Yeah. But it blows my mind that was happening at the exact same time J.D. Rockefeller was setting up his oil empire. That when that clocked in my head that the Wild West and like people struggling for survival to find new lands was happening at the same time another guy was digging into the ground for oil, which is something we like. One thing we see as history and another thing we see as like very, very modern, was happening at the exact same time. That's mind-blowing to me. So again, technically, using that logic, you could have a samurai and a cowboy fighting underneath J.D. Rockefeller's first oil refineries.
What kind of Assassin's Creed bullshit is this?
Knowing modern Ubisoft, that will be a DLC.
Yeah, right.
Ubisoft, just remake the original and the Ezio trilogy, and I'll be happy. I don't care about your new stuff. Just give me those remakes.
Yeah. You got something coming in from outside? You just looked out the window like Bigfoot was out there.
Oh yeah.
I was like, noticing.
Oh, okay.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Bigfoot.
Be like, no, guys, really.
Bigfoot just showed up as a special guest.
Now, if you discover Bigfoot, do you get to name it, or like do you have to call it Bigfoot?
I think it's kind of just stuck at Bigfoot because you're not going to be able to rebrand that. Imagine Bigfoot can talk, and he's just like the entire species is just desperately trying to say, no, this is our name, and every single human just goes, "Lol, Bigfoot." like we just do not listen.
They're like, that's offensive to us. You need to stop.
Dude, imagine what Pornhub would look like.
Oh.
All right, you got a foot fetish, huh? How about a big foot fetish?
Rule 34. Rule 34.
Where do hobbits fall into that? Like, do Bigfoots? Is it Bigfoots or is it big feet?
Again, 100% Rule 34. The Hobbit stuff,
okay.
That definitely exists.
But like, does Bigfoot have big furry hobbit foot, or do they like keep them nice and clean?
Hobbits just furry on the top, aren't they?
Yeah.
Whereas Bigfoot, I don't know. Is Bigfoot? We've not captured a Bigfoot. Like, and that's not something I could like imagine that they capture Bigfoot and there's just me running up going, wait, I have a question. Look at the soles of its feet, and everyone's like, okay, shoot the freak before he gets near the specimen.
Well, they've made castings of it in California and other places that they have the central area. So it's like just a barefoot. Not a barefoot, a barefoot.
But what if there's a Bigfoot and they have like Native American naming like conventions and Bigfoot's name was Barefoot?
It's sort of gone and changed over the year. That would make sense, actually.
A hairy toes category, that guy said.
Did either of you ever see a show called Monster Quest?
Like on the History Channel?
Yeah, it was a big cryptid show. They did an episode. There was this little island with big, whether obviously it was Bigfoot Island, and it was just off. Ironically, it was just off of New York, and basically they go on this little island, and they go on this little island, and they get rocks thrown at the house, like because they're trying to talk, because they hear wood knocks, obviously, and that's the classic Bigfoot sign. So they would knock back, and then they get rocks thrown at them, and then the cryptozoologist is going, "Oh, I don't think they want us on the island," and then you can see the rest of the camera crew going, "Yeah, can we? I want to go." And then the director, they all go inside this cabin for protection. And the director turns around to the last cameraman, stops him from getting inside and goes, "Can you do a circle of the cabin? Like, just to see if you catch something on the outskirts." And it's like, the cameraman does it as well. And you can just hear the footage is hilarious because he's just going, he's trying to get around this cabin as fast as possible. And you can hear he's like terrified. And I'm like, there's no way I would have said yes to that. There's no amount of money you could say, can you go outside alone with the Bigfoots who are very angry with us being here? Can you just go outside?
Do either of you watch a show called Ghost Adventures?
Yes, I did. Yes,
I don't know. I've
Okay.
seen a couple ghost shows and I forget the names. I know Taps was one.
Taps? I don't think I saw that one. But anyway, it's I love the show, but it's also like reality TV trash. And there's one dude they like to stick in closets and shit, where it's like, okay, so we know that there's a portal in this closet, and everyone who's ever slept in this room sees demons in this closet. So we're gonna lock Aaron in this closet for an hour and leave the house. And it's like, this is why I think the show is bullshit, because if you believe that, you would not lock yourself in a fucking closet with demons for an hour. But
yeah,
no.
All right.
There's no way you could pay me to sit in there.
No.
I would want every cross ever made inside the closet with me.
Not even every cross ever. We got to break into the Vatican first and get like the cross, and that's the one that's got to come with it. No.
But what if you do, if you don't believe in that stuff, you're like, oh, well.
I guess you're getting eaten by demons.
Yeah.
You're just cooked at that point, and you're just getting eaten by demons.
Well, I mean, that's the split though, because like there's two options with this. Either you believe in that stuff and you go in there, and then like nothing happens, and then you're like, all right, so that's a bust. Or you don't believe the stuff and you go in there, and then you get eaten by demons. Or you don't believe in the stuff and you go in there and nothing happens, and then it's like, all right, well, this show's still gotta be interesting, so I gotta pretend to be freaked the fuck. Oh god, no, what happened? I saw him. Where? Well, the light was out. Oh my god, he saw one. Okay, all right. But,
is that the one that was years and years ago that had the song Voodoo in the beginning? They had the cameras facing them, and they were like, this place in the penitentiary had this happen, and this is recorded here. You need to go over here for 10 minutes and record it, sit there and listen, or say this. I used to watch that back. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, maybe then. The show's been on for a minute. They got a new season out, but it's like season 25. So, I mean, I think they started off. I think they were like one of the first shows to do that, and then just kept hanging on.
This was it took a different group of people each time, just random people, and then some sat in the central, and you sent other people out to do the things, and you recorded it. I think that was like one of the ones that was the beginning of all that happened.
Yeah, because like, and those were all on the Travel Channel too. And it's like, all right, so I guess people don't want to watch documentaries on like why you should come to Panama City, Florida. No one's watching that. What if we put ghosts there?
I was going to say, I don't know what it's like in the States, but I know ghost tourism is huge in the UK. Like if you go to York, every signpost will say Roman ghost in our pub, Viking ghost in our pub. Like ghost tourism in the UK is huge. And like all our TV, like we had Ghost Hunters UK, and the camera would always be faced like this. Like, so this would be what you see in the like dark screen the entire time. They'd just be looking scared. And I'd be like, well, show me what you're scared of. What are you looking at that you're scared of?
Exactly. It's like they're just reaction. Like Blair Witch. It was all because of their reaction.
Dude, and so many people thought the Blair Witch Project was real. It's like, bro, like it's got credits. Those actors are alive. You can Google them.
Wasn't that like the people thought the Orson Welles broadcast of War of the Worlds was real or something? Was that like a hoax? Like when he did the live broadcast and he pretended that he was seeing actual Martians and stuff.
I mean, it was presented like that. And there's a lot of stories about how people freaked out. But like, if you go back and look at it, it's like, it kind of seems like other people secondarily said that other people were freaking out to make the show have more clout.
It's like a marketing
marketability. Yeah. No, but like ghost tours over here, it kind of depends on where you are. Cause like a lot of places there aren't any, but then like if a place has any amount of like history to it, there is like if you go to like Gettysburg, that's what I was going to bring up. And
I've seen the videos of the ghosts and supposed ghosts in Gettysburg.
Yeah, but Gettysburg's a cool place anyway. Like even if you're just going to like hang out, like because there's a college there, so it's a fucking pub town. But then you get all the history there, and then you got like all the shops shit you can go to, and then there's some really cool fucking museums there that aren't even Gettysburg related. And then you have all the ghost tours and stuff, which I've done that a few times. It's fun.
Oh yeah, and they're very historical. It's not just
Yeah.
ooh, there's a ghost. It was like history. So you needed to go to the ghost store to get more history. It was really cool. You go to the night one,
Yeah,
and that was
and
fun.
it's cool because they'll do stuff like, hey, here's the chain of events. There's a ghost that lives in this building, and we think it's this guy because during the Battle of Gettysburg, this platoon was out here, and this guy, and this guy got killed at this time, at this date, in this fucking location. And then every now and again, you see 3 ghosts, and they're right here, and we think it's these 3 guys, and it's like super detailed because it's not like, it's not like, oh, 1,000 years ago there was a Roman, garrison here, and we see Romans. It's like, no, this is Bob Smith, Jerry, Shannon, and who the fuck ever. We think these ghosts are these people. It's really interesting. And then they'll go into like, also these people were from here, and this is their whole life story, and then et cetera, et cetera. So you get like, it's like 10% ghost, and it's these ghosts, and it's these people right here, and the other 90% of it's like actual history. Also, hey Dom, what's up?
I don't think we have the most similar thing we have in the UK would be one of our Civil War battles. It was the bloodiest battle fought on English soil, and you can see it will be certain. It's a certain period of year which will be like the exact day the battle happened, and then you will see. And again, I've seen videos of it, and you see like the ghosts like sort of literally as if they're rising up, getting ready to do the fight again. And then you see them walk towards each other, and then they just fade out. And it's really spooky to watch. And like locals will go and they'll film it, and and it's like dead quiet. And then you can like faintly hear the drums that they would have been playing as they were going. And I'm like, that's spooky. And then I'm actually realizing as I'm telling the story that I've never seen any videos of cavalry ghosts. So I wonder if
do horses not get to be ghosts?
I wonder. That's true. I've never heard of animal ghosts full stop, actually.
Well, I mean, there's plenty of cat and dog ghosts.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. I've heard of saber-toothed tigers being ghosts. Yeah, I've heard about
that would be interesting. Could you imagine?
Like in caves and stuff, people report hearing like the roar. I suppose that could just be a mountain lion, though, that they're just like,
Yeah, and like Dom saying in the comments, like residual energy is probably a thing.
Yeah. That wasn't that a theory like that stone sort of can record like events and stuff, and it just like if the sun hits it the same way it did years and years ago, it replays the event.
I have no clue, but I mean, I don't think it's outside the realm of possibility that there's some other like weird thing that's not quote unquote spooky, and it has something to do with the time-space continuum bumping on itself, where you're not actually seeing ghosts, you're just getting a glimpse of something that happened in a different time. But
yeah, that would explain why they just go through walls, or like in York with any Roman ghosts, you only see them like up at the shins. The ghosts cut off at the shins, and the reason for that is where we've built roads on top of each other. That would be the exact height if you was just a spectre walking through at the height of the Roman road. It would cut off at your shins, which is one of my theories of like. It kind of sounds like you're seeing like watching back footage in a sort of way.
I didn't see any ghosts or anything in Gettysburg, but like when you look over the battlefield, when you stand there, you like the hairs, and you just feel something.
Yeah. There's definitely going to be energy to that place. Definitely.
Oh yeah. In Kentucky, there is a place where the Trail of Tears, where the Native Americans were walked through, were stopped and stayed over the winter, and you can like screaming like it's rough there. I have a rough time sitting there. I was like, I'm sorry.
just like the energy leftovers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like.
It's weird that places can do that.
Oh yeah, I had a similar when I was in Germany. We was in the Führer bunker, which is obviously it's not the original bunker. It's like the
did they rebuild it?
Basically, yeah, it's like a recreation, and so we're going through, and I've grown up on the World of War and all these World War documentaries because my dad was very much like, you need to grow up and learn this and like learn the sort of like what's come before you and what the world you live in is built on, which I think started my love of history. But But I was like, oh yeah, no, I've seen all the footage. And we go in, and it's like there's a big warning in German and in English. It's like, hey, if you're sensitive, do not go in this museum because it will mess with you. And so I'm like,
Oh, wow.
going through, and the images you're shown is like, it is World War II Holocaust stuff that you like. They can't show to the public because it's too horrendous. So we're going through, and I'm mostly fine. And I was obviously shocked until we get down to the last level, which is the recreation of Hitler's level, his specific room in the bunker where it was meant to be the safest. And I kid you not, this entire thing is boiling hot. This entire bunker is boiling. But it's this Hitler room. You go to the door, it's hot there, and then there is ice. And I mean, like, it's like you walk, it's like you're in Dark Souls and you push back the cloud. Like, that's how, like, abrupt and icy it was. And then you go past his room, which is, like, 1-to-1. And it is, like, the only way to describe it is, like, that is what the aura of evil feels like. That is the only way to describe it. And then you go through, it shows you that he tested his cyanide capsule on his own dog, as if you didn't hate him enough. Like, there is always something new to learn about how much to hate Hitler. And then the bit that broke me, and I will admit, I my knees went like completely. I walked through and I was like, okay, I'm fine, guys. No, I'm fine. And I walked through and it showed what Goering did to his kids. And I just went, nope. I just was down in tears. And I was like, apparently I was just screaming those fuckers. And I went out and I walked out and I was it was very upset. But the aura of that place, it was. No offense to any Germans watching, but no offense, your country has a very negative aura. Yeah, it's very negative. I don't know why.
Wonder why. Can you imagine that? They're like, you're a priest and you get called in to do an exorcism, and like, you know, oh, the kid's speaking German. Oh, what's he saying in German? Oh, he's reciting Mein Kampf. Ah, damn it.
He's just like, what's the ghost doing? It's just this little Hitler Youth ghost running around screaming "Das Juden," like just on repeat. That's all it says.
Or like, instead of like the possessed kid like crawling up the walls, it's just goose stepping on the ceiling, and it's like, I hate my job. I hate my job.
Imagine being a priest. He's like, you're used to it, and you've seen every ghost possible to excise, and then you just see the goose stepping like the Hitler Youth child at the top. You're like, I miss it. I miss it when we just used to have to do the ring. I just missed the videotapes, man. That was easy back then. I just put the videotape in, do the holy water, and I'm done. I've got to chase this thing now. Like,
that's fun.
Reminds me of Stockton's earrings.
No.
You mean a representation of the four winds? That was funny because I wrote that because I was in, I think, Singapore. It might have been Malaysia, but you know, we went to, you know, what's the dumb kitschy shit that tourists buy? Souvenirs. So at a souvenir store, and it's like, oh, silver swastikas. I'm gonna buy those for my girlfriend, and then she never wore them for some reason. I don't know why.
Talking of souvenirs,
shall I be beaten?
Talking of, hang on, wait, I've got to pick it up because I broke this years ago. Talking of souvenir stuff that was pointlessly overpriced and you get suckered into easily, that's my piece of the Berlin Wall that I bought in Germany. I paid, I think it was either between 5 and 10 euros for a chunk of concrete. The Germans knocked down a wall and said, how can we sell this back to the Allies? So like, hello, little English tourist. Would you like to buy a piece of concrete?
Mine's not as cool, but yeah, in Okinawa, Japan, you can buy jade and amethyst things made from them, like eagles and stuff like that.
Wow.
Really big ones for really cheap. But this is jade. It's a
nice.
What do you call a dragon? But yeah, I might have bought a lot of stuff over there. Because I was like, oh no, another country. This stuff is cool.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of fun stuff. Like, I got a little Buddha just because, I don't know, like, because you know how they would like make everything out of that like red wood fucking like carving thing and then like
Yeah.
polish it. Like I don't know. I like the way that color looks, so I would buy a bunch of stuff that was that just because I don't know, it was neat. You don't see like that over anything like that over here.
I have one of those Buddhas, like this big red. It's over there somewhere. From there as well. Also, right. Cheap knickknacks like that.
Oh, that's pretty
that's
cool.
fun.
Though. That is pretty cool.
The other one broke.
Oh,
It used to be 2.
Did you hear Ubisoft got in trouble because in their game set in Japan they used Chinese artwork, and the second I heard that I was like, oh, it's okay. It's not like that's 2 countries that hate each other.
That's funny.
Yeah, no, I'm a sucker for tourist shit. Like anywhere I go, I'm like, all right, I'm at least buying 1,000 postcards. Maybe not 1,000.
Mine's magnets.
Yes.
It's a family tradition in my family where if one of us goes somewhere, we have to get a magnet.
My sister-in-law collects those, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's the best because it's decorative and you're not gonna I mean, obviously, as you can tell, I am a sucker for tourist gear. I'm buying actual concrete.
Yeah, but also nobody cares how much shit you just put on the top of your fridge.
Yeah, that's true.
Don't get judged for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have fun.
Yeah.
I get sucked in that, yeah. We try to go to game stores in the United States and different places now. That's fun. Instead of actually just buying stuff, buy like gaming stuff then that you use anyway.
Oh, so like you're not just putting more shit on the shelf. It's like, all right, so I went to Miami, but I got something I'm going to use.
Yes.
It'd be fun if they regionalized stuff like that. So like, just say for the sake of example, like I don't know, Dungeons and Dragons stuff, where like you can only buy like say certain types of dice in certain areas, or
that would be cool.
Yeah, or like game books or whatever. So like instead of like, hey, we're gonna do this campaign, it's like we're gonna go on the Georgia campaign. You can only get the Georgia book if you're in Georgia. We don't sell it on the internet or anything. That'd be neat.
That would be really cool, and around the world too.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only thing I've really seen that done with is video games, because you get the regional locks video games, don't you? Like, there's a version for just Japan, and there's a version for the States and stuff.
Yeah, but a lot of that though is like, all right, so we got to take the swastikas out and put something else there so we can sell us in Germany, because they can't even have that in a fucking movie over there.
You can't have blood or swastikas in Germany.
Really?
No blood.
I'm fairly certain Germany's not. I know Australia's definitely no blood. I know
Really?
Australia, yeah.
Wait. A country where everything's trying to kill you? Everything. Minus probably the people?
Are you talking about Australia or Germany?
Yeah, Australia. Like all the animals, insects over there are trying to kill you at any given time, but no blood?
Yeah, Australia's really strict on censorship. They started to loosen it recently, and then they sort of walked a lot of that. But I mean, they wanted to say their prime minister wanted to ban memes. Like, he wanted to go on the internet because some people were bullying him and making memes, and he went on and he goes, I think that we should ban memes because it can be quite hurtful for different people. And in response, the Australian people memed the shit out. Like,
he
the
deserves
amount
it.
of meme. Yeah. The second he said, I think memes are offensive, the memes about him just trebled like overnight. And I was like, rule 1 of the internet, my guy. Don't let people know something annoys you.
And there was someone there telling him that. And as soon as he went and said it, they're like, oh my God. And now I gotta fix this? No.
It's like the fucking what Worm Tongue from Lord of the Rings. Don't let them meme you, master.
That you just know there was some underpaid intern going, no.
Yeah. Why am I even here? Why do you have me here? You don't listen ever.
Yeah. It's like, I don't get paid enough for this. You don't get paid. Oh yeah, that's the point.
Oh yeah. Fuck.
Didn't they take their weapons at one time too?
Yeah.
New Zealand doesn't. Yeah, they've got not as strict as the UK, I don't think, but they are tight. You can go to gun ranges and stuff in Australia, but they're like it's so I watched. It was so funny. What a comedian I used to watch called Isaac Butterfield. He goes in and like. So he's got a little gun. I'm using my hay fever medication to, but then there's like a bar, and it's attached to the bar, and he can only go up and down on the bar. He can't move it. He can't move it left or right. It's like there's 2 bars either side, so he can just hold the pistol. And I was like, "What? We might as well not bother because you can't aim that because the bar is holding it in place for you, so you're not going to get the idea of the recoil."
Mhm.
Like, I mean, you can actually do it in the UK as well. The loophole is you have to just join the army cadets. As long as it's government sanctioned and trains you to fight for the government.
Now, can you stay in the army cadets until you're fucking 40?
No, you have to leave when you're 18.
Oh.
But yeah.
I thought it was pretty messed up that I was like, things try to kill you there and they took your guns away. Like, that's not right.
Yeah,
I guess in my mind, when you go outside,
no, that absolutely makes
things.
sense. Like everybody thinks kangaroos are cute because of Winnie the Pooh, but if you see one in real life, it's like that thing's fucking terrifying. No, I want a desert eagle if I'm around those things.
Because the big male kangaroos, they'll come up and they think, oh, it's so cute, they're hugging you, but they're not. Yeah. They're trying to grab your shoulders so they can use their hind legs to rip out your stomach. They're evil.
Yeah, they're trying to kick your ass.
Yeah,
like people go, oh, it's so bad. The Australians want to cull the kangaroos, and I'm like, do it, please, save us all.
You know, I don't know how that would go. I mean, they lost the war to fucking emus.
Yeah, that's
so. True. I mean, I don't know what they're going to do with kangaroos.
2 emu wars.
2 emu wars. Lost both of them. So how do you think they're going to do against kangaroos?
Oh my god. Yeah,
the
animals win over there.
Yeah.
That's their army. Their animals. If they could get them together to fight for them,
they're like seagulls are like full blown pelicans. So like their version of seagulls are like come up to like your hip. Like that's how tall.
Oh, I'm sure that would be like.
Yeah, no, Australia's wild.
Yeah,
and I love how like New Zealand's like its little pleasant, quiet cousin. like nothing ever happened to New Zealand apart from the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And Xena Warrior Princess. Come on.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's true. Yeah. There's a lot of filming. I suppose it's just cheap because New Zealand. If you don't like, if I showed you a load of video of New Zealand, I didn't tell you where, you could 100% convince someone it was from Wales. Easily. Like some of those mountain ranges look very, very Welsh to me. I think that's why they used it for Lord of the Rings, because obviously Lord of the Rings is meant to be a mythology for England. Like that's the idea behind it. So I think because it looks so English. I mean, to be fair, it would make sense. So that's why it would make sense. So that's why we was like, it reminds me of home. Hello, old chap. Would you like to give me this island nation of yours? No, I live here. Excellent answer. I love it when they don't say yes immediately. Harry, get the gunpowder.
Now, to be fair, is it get the gunpowder or is it like, hey, call the East India Trading Company? I think they would like to get introduced.
I don't think the East India went into New Zealand.
I don't think they did either. I know
No.
that was a joke because I think the reason it was East India is because it operated in East India. And they had other trading companies like the North American Trading Company and they had a few other ones. But, the East India did what the East India did, so that's why it gets memed.
Yeah. I do know that we got handed, like, at the Battle of Gatay Pa, the Maori...
Are you just making up words, or is that in France?
Well, there's this battle, and people don't actually know. So some people say it's Gatay Pa because that was what the place is called, and some people think it's just Gate Pa. And the British came along, heard the name, heard like the natives say that word, and just assumed that was what the place was called. I'm inclined to believe that because it's so aggressively British colonialism. That is
there's a lot of places in the U.S. that are named like that. Like the natives, did the natives call this here, or did some dude just say that? Like Ohio means big river, and I forget what tribe.
100%. They just went, that's the big river down there, and they went,
this is Ohio. Got it. Okay, all right, cool. I think a good half of our states are named that way.
Yeah. That's That's just colonialism for you.
Yeah.
Just go.
Also,
yeah, yes, I understand.
Yeah. Also, Dom saying they're building doomsday bunkers in New Zealand. Ottawa.
Wait, what?
Huh, I hadn't heard about that.
Yeah. I mean, I suppose it's the least likely to be nuked, so you wouldn't get as irradiated, I suppose. But talking about the battle, so it was a classic moment of the British were way overconfident. We only had like 1,000 guys, and our officers were all very brightly decorated.
Yeah, you're
So
wearing bright red in the snow, and you're wondering why you lost the American Revolution.
So the Maori just dug holes, and then not only that, we marked our artillery in the wrong place. So the artillery was going over the Maori position, and then hitting the British regiment that was meant to ambush behind them. So they were being decimated. They went into retreat. As the British advance comes up, they're going, there's no one here, and there's all these holes in the ground that are conveniently shotgun and crossbow and longbow shaped that could easily have. We're about to get shot, and then bang, the officers are all shot at once. So all of the officers go down. The British soldiers panic and run around, and the Maori just running from hole to hole, just like blasting them with shotguns and stuff.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it was very America in World War One, getting the Germans upset. We use the gas. You can't use the shotguns.
Wrong.
We need that accent in books.
Yes.
Is there a German character I could come up and do in a future installment?
In a future story.
Yeah.
But spoilers and all that.
Yeah.
But wrapping around to that, I did love both of y'all's voice work in Chain Smoking Problems Away. Fucking
Thank you.
Killer out of the fucking park with it. And I know that the people in the comment sections have been digging it too. They've been leaving comments on shit. So
Thanks. It was my first time, and I don't like my voice because usually I get asked how old I am on the phone and stuff like that, or if my parents are there. You know when you used to get telemarketers, hey, is your mom or dad there? I don't know. I'm 20-something years old. Am I okay?
I was like, are you still getting that? I mean, because that's not a bad thing.
I kind of like voice acting. Oddly for the same reason, because I hate how my voice sounds, and I enjoy it when I don't hear my voice coming back to me. I hear someone else's, and I think, I think, I don't know, is this book 5? No, you did put you did no.
4.
We're 4.
I'm trying to remember if this was a Patreon release that this character comes out of. I think it's the next one along. No, it's not. Is the Australian in this one?
Yorick?
Yeah.
No, Yorick's in this one.
Okay, good. I'm trying to. They've blended together. The characters from 4 and 5 have blended together for me. But no, I really enjoyed Yorick. Purely like the just everything that happens to him in. I'm trying to be spoiler free for everyone that hasn't seen it. I'm trying to word it so carefully.
Oh, yeah. I love Stockton.
Yeah.
She's just pretty amazing. And the fact that she'll just grab a knife and stab somebody is just she's who I want to be.
Yeah, she is very stabby.
Like her throat punch, like you get it in your head and I'm just looking at the person thinking these things. And I'm like, if they could read my mind.
Yeah, she came together well, and you played her beautifully. And then
I just went normal because it's my first time, and I didn't want to try. Yeah,
and it's not super hard. You just gotta I don't know, figure out how to set the microphone right, and then
yes,
I think it's a lot easier than say like talking in front of a crowd, because it's like, all right, I got a million people here, and stage fright's a real thing.
Oh yeah,
but voice acting, you do it alone in a room, and like once you remember that you're alone in a room, which you kind of don't a lot, because like you still have a little bit of performance anxiety.
Oh yeah,
but like once you figure out, it's like, oh, just be me. It just flips off out of that.
Always the first take. I feel like I do a dozen of them and delete them because I'm always messing up in my head. But once I get into a flow, I can be okay. And that's around the times I'm sick or my asthma acts up.
Damn it!
Like bronchitis will hit, and I'm like, son of a bitch, is a puking scene coming up?
I mean, there's a lot of those. There's a lot of those. Like to the point where like some people are like, hey, no one's puked on anybody's dick in about 5 chapters. What's up, man? You all right over there?
Like,
I remember
they go from laughing to crying to like not crying. She isn't really crying. Yeah, kind of. But like yelling or, you know, like it's all over the place. You've really tried my first time doing this.
Yeah, I mean, she I wouldn't call her a mean bitch, although she can be. But she is a dynamic character.
I remember for one of my I don't think I had a throwing up scene, but I had to gargle something. And yeah. And I remember reading the script and I was like, I remember like going into my going Trip. I don't know how I'm going to do this, but I've got a glass of water and I'm just going to do 3 takes gargling this. And I just leaned my head back on my counter and I was just going. And I was like, I don't know how that came out. I don't know how it sounded. Use it as you will. But it was funny.
It's funny because when I'm in the midst of the bronchitis affecting my asthma, I'll go into a coughing fit and clear and sometimes throw up, and I'm like, man, if only I could record when this is going on instead of having to fake it,
Like I got a method act for this scene. I'm not sick. I'm gonna go to an elementary school and hang out with a bunch of kids. There we go. Some kid, a 2-year-old sneezed in my face. All right, give me a week. I'll be all right.
Just sitting there, you start feeling unwell.
Sorry.
You start feeling unwell, and you're like, "Where's the microphone? Where's the microphone?"
All right. Oh, this is great. Or else, like, I'm supposed to have something like that, like the drunk, which would also help with the the sickness being in there a little. But then that week, it's been nice outside, so I'm fine. Damn it.
Yeah. Oh, it's fun.
Yeah. And going from screaming, I'm like, I have to give my voice a minute, or not. Yeah.
The beauty of editing.
Yeah. And then I'm like, okay, hold on. I do a lot of streamlining of Dayquil to soothe the throat.
Mine is, I have an interesting allergy, which is orange squash. So my only sore throats come from having orange squash. Yeah, it's random. It's random. Everyone reacts like that.
It's a weird one to have, but
yeah,
I guess it's.
How much do you come into contact with that?
It's almost always my own fault because orange squash has a very specific flavoring. So I don't have like bronchitis or asthma or anything. But if I drink orange squash, I'll just sit there like.
Oh yeah.
And then like I can't swallow because my throat is so sore. I'm like, yep, no.
It's like this will kill you, right? But it's so delicious.
Yeah. What's funny is I'm not even that huge a fan of orange squash. I just drink it sometimes because it's there and because I'm a bit thick. I'm a bit thick is basically the summary of it. I'm the opposite. I'm the opposite of Thom.
Not just down there fucking chugging it. Yeah. Well, on that note, I would like to thank both of you very much for coming on and chit chatting for a bit. It was good finally talking to you, Amy, because we've been internet friends for a minute.
Yes.
We haven't ever actually, said, "Hey, what's up?" before. And then
exactly.
Yeah. And then Ryan, Mr. History Daddy, when are you bringing your fucking channel back?
When I need some free time. At the moment, my free time is dedicated to finishing off my book, which Trip has been telling me to finish for the better part of 2 years.
Nice.
And he's been a lazy fucking not doing
it. It's mostly laziness that's come to, but I'm actually getting it done. And then hopefully I do have a deadline for myself that I'm not going to reveal current now, and I also know what video I'm going to do when I do come back. cough cough Romania is all I'll hint at.
Okay. So you're just gonna say a bunch of like evil shit about the Balkans and wait to get stabbed. Got it.
Hey, listen. If you want to go viral, just say stuff about the Balkans. Like I could literally be like, I like a state in the Balkans. That'll still get me hate. I haven't specified which one. They'll all assume it's not them.
So you do have a channel on YouTube?
Yes, History Daddy. There are a lot of videos on there still, but I just haven't uploaded there in like a year.
No, he says he does, but like he hasn't been on it in a year.
Yeah, I haven't been on it in like a year. Well, fun fact about the Balkans before we head off: the Yugoslavia collapsed. Because Yugoslavia collapsed because a man shoved a bottle up his bum, and I'll leave it there. I'm not going to elaborate.
Alrighty then. I can't wait to hear the explanation on that one.
I mean, we started with dicks and then we're ending with this. So.
Yeah. Natural evolution, right? So the Yugoslavs like adopted butt plugs, and then that's got it.
Oh, it was a glass bottle.
Wait, was he the one man, one jar guy?
No. Do you want me to tell the story very quickly and to summarize up? This is the collapse of the nation, so there's a lot of stuff. Basically, he went to a field to enjoy himself, to change the language for YouTube. He went to the field to enjoy himself. He decided to and it got stuck. He passed out. When he came to and people found him, he was like, bearing in mind he was Serbian, so he said, the Albanians did it. And obviously there's a lot of ethnic tensions built up. Then he tried to change his story in hospital. By this time, the rumor had already spread. So because he lied, even though he tried to admit he lied, that led to tensions rising between the Serbians and the Albanians, which then snowballed into the entirety of Yugoslavia being really angry at itself. And then ethnic wars, ethnic cleansing, shattering of Yugoslavia. Because one man shoved the bottle up his butt.
You know what? You shouldn't start the story there. When you do it, you should figure out what kind of glass bottle it was. And if just for the sake of argument, we're going to assume that it's a Coke bottle, you need to start that story off with the American Civil War and then the war ending and then some Confederate colonel inventing Coca-Cola because he wanted to get off heroin, and then global distribution of Coca-Cola, and then say the American Civil War is why
Yugoslavia
or Coca-Cola caused this epic,
Yeah, that's just it's one of my favorite historical facts that one man having a bit of a cheeky wank.
That's what it was, Amy, from earlier. The swear words that start with W.
Yes,
told you he'd say wank.
It's English. It's actually we have to say it once a day, otherwise we go to jail. So,
do you guys say the C word a lot?
Yes, that is a very English thing.
I wish it would become a thing here because I appreciate that word too.
We don't say motherfudger a lot. We don't say the Samuel Jackson word a lot, which is weird.
Motherfucker a lot? That's weird.
We'll drop the C bomb a lot. But like that's very normalized in like a lot of areas of the UK, whereas like motherfucker is sort of is more frowned upon weirdly. It's like a topsy-turvy.
That's weird, yeah.
Yeah. No, because like you can say motherfucker over here all day long, but if you say cunt, it's like, the Antichrist showed up.
Yeah.
And that's what I appreciate about your books. Or anytime I listen to anything from the UK or Australia or something, they really hit it home.
Yeah, but on their end of it, like it's not a swear word. It's just like, hey, buddy, or hey, guy.
It's such a powerful, like, because it's so hard. Like it's got the k and it's got the and then it's got the t, and it's like it's so powerful. It's so like straight to the point, packs a punch, and it's just like like it's so like if you use it in the right connotation, it's just really effective.
Yeah.
In Game of Thrones, the Hound always using it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's my favorite character.
Yeah, he was great. I like him.
Yeah, little bit of inspiration from him on in the 13 short stories down novel. But on that, thank you very much for coming on. Thank you everyone for listening. Thom, I see you in the comments, and Thom, while there won't be a video, I will see you next Tuesday. I start a podcast on Tuesdays.
Oh.
We call it that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll have to start watching.
All right. Adios.